and welcome to the University of New Mexico School of Law's podcast in Career Services. I'm Bonnie Steepleton, Director of Student and Career Services, and today I'm really excited to have Savannah Hoover with us. She's going to be graduating soon. She's a 3L, and we are going to talk about the importance of students joining and being involved with sections of the state bar. So I won't steal your thunder. I'll let you introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about what you've done in school and why we're here talking to you today.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, I'm Savannah Hoover. I'm a 3L, and I'll be graduating in May with both my JD and my MBA. My first society that I was really intrigued by at our board at the beginning of the 1L year was Intellectual Property Society, and I was just enthralled with how to kind of connect with the entertainment community as well as the creative community, and so I just kind of jumped in with both feet. And then in spring of 1L year, I became the student liaison for the IP section of the State Bar of New Mexico. And I only just recently gave up that position because it was probably one of my favorite things to do here.
Well, you've totally killed it. You've been so instrumental in making so many great things happen at our school and for our students, so I'm grateful. You were president of the Intellectual Property Society. I almost said international because it's an I, sorry.
All the good stuff.
Yes, but it's a big topic. IP means many things. Patents, trademarks.
We also got copyright and trade secrets.
Right. There's a lot going on.
So much.
Yes. So tell me some of the things that your club had done during the time you were in school together with the State Bar section.
Absolutely. So the IP Society of UNMSOL partnered up with the IP section of the State Bar to complete a lot of really great networking events. In the first semester, we did one kind of centered around the craft beer industry of New Mexico, as that's a very booming industry here. Later on, we've also done a few IP pro bono fairs, which increase access to just time with attorneys. So creatives that might not have a budget for legal advice can get a free 30 minutes, really chat out the issues they might have around trademark, patent, copyright, even trade secrets, and just get a lot of insight in those 30 minutes. And if they need to continue the relationship, they can do so.
And you had a movie.
We did, yes. In COVID times, we had to, kind of adapt. We first changed the pro bono fair into a virtual model, which increased a lot of access to people outside of Albuquerque and Santa Fe, so that was great. We also hosted a movie night called Feels Good Man. If you haven't seen it, anyone watching, you definitely should check it out. It's about one man's journey to reclaim Pepe the Frog, as it was meant to be a very enriching and friendly character, and it was usurped by the far right. And the story is very excellent to watch, and attorneys are the superheroes there. Definitely.
So speaking of attorneys, tell me a little bit about the relationships that you've developed with the attorneys through this experience.
Absolutely. Every month we would get together and we would chat about what kind of goals we all had together, and a liaison's role is to keep the board informed about what's happening at the law school so that when there's an opportunity to support students or support an opportunity to sell people on the world of IP, which I do any chance I get, we can build that relationship and create something great. And the IP section in particular they're huge advocates for all things student-centric, and as well as connecting us to the IP community, which is small in New Mexico. So it's been very enriching helping all those programs kind of come to fruition. And then also during COVID, we would have a little afternoon happy hour once or twice a month just to reconnect and make sure that everyone's doing well in their personal lives. And I think for the attorneys, taking that little break and just getting to come together over a coffee or a tea or what have you was really wonderful.
So how did you do it? What was it like for you to actually make that connection?
As a first-generation attorney or a first-generation law student, it was really important for me to meet the kind of attorneys that I wanted to be. So I was very appreciative of everyone just kind of welcoming me in and including me in everything that their board accomplished. So
you picked up the phone and said, "Hi, it's Savannah. I want to be your liaison."
Good point. The previous liaison was Marco Santamaria, and he was the last one to carry the flaming torch for Intellectual Property Society in New Mexico.
Did very well, yes.
He did. And so once I showed up as an enthusiastic 1L, he kind of looked at me and was like, "You should do this too." So big thanks to Marcos for that.
So what would you advise a student who may not have the same exact topic interest but could have an opportunity to be a liaison with the State Bar Committee? What would you tell them they need to do?
I would say first look to see if there's a student society in your area of interest. They probably are the first stepping stone to kind of figuring out what the section board looks like, if they're really involved or not, if there is a place for a student liaison. But I'm also a big proponent of just sort of knocking at the door and seeing if you can have a seat at the table, because your input is important as a student, and your connection from the School of Law to the legal community is important. So I think even if a board doesn't have a student liaison position yet, they should, and you should tell them why.
Totally agree. And it's my bread and butter in career services. Networking is responsible for most people's job offers and their professional opportunities that happen. So you've been a huge inspiration for our students, and I'm a huge fan and grateful for all your service. And I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you. You're an inspiration to me as well.